I was out on site at Toowong yesterday, talking to a couple about renovating their house and potentially subdividing their block. They were shocked to find out that these babies right here could impact not only on their renovation options, but their development options. Want to know what these things are and why council is so precious about them? Well, stick around because in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to cover off. Okay, so when I say these things, I'm not talking about inflatable palm trees. I'm talking about street trees. Now, what is a street tree? A street tree is a tree, obviously, which is positioned between the curb line and the boundary in front of your property. They're protected. They're owned by council. They're not yours, unlike what most people think. Council is very, very protective of these things. Now, to give you a bit of background, when City Plan 2014 was in development, Council made it very clear that they wanted Brisbane to be recognised as a subtropical city on the global sort of stage. One of the ways that they wanted to achieve this reputation was through the creation of tree-lined pedestrian pathways. Obviously, you can't have tree-lined pedestrian pathways without trees. Now, back when the scheme first came in, Council was a little bit lax on enforcing that sort of requirement or that desire, whatever you want to call it. Generally speaking, and this is a massive generalisation, they used to sit there and say, if you paid for one of their contractors to remove the tree, and if you paid for one of their contractors to replant a similar one elsewhere in the suburb, they were cool with it. They were happy. Now, generally speaking, maybe for a little shrub, you're up for maybe a few $100s, nothing too crazy. Maybe a bigger tree, a few $1,000s. It obviously wasn't desirable as a homeowner or a designer or whatever. You don't want to see a bill come in for that amount of money, but it wasn't a showstopper dollar amount. In recent times, probably the last 1 to 2 months, we have seen council shift their position. They've now really cracked down on this issue and they're trying to preserve as many trees as possible. Now, if you're looking at designing a house, whether it's a renovation, a new build, or if you're looking at doing higher development like units or a subdivision, if you want to put a driveway in smack bang where that tree is, you've got an issue. Council won't let you, forget my words out, council won't let you remove the tree. You want to put your driveway in there? Who wins? Council. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, council's the higher body, their say is final. If you can't easily relocate that driveway to an alternate position on the frontage, then you have problems. You might find, let's say you want to put the driveway there, council's going, no, you got to stick it over here because you've got a street tree here, but the grades don't work or the solar orientation doesn't work. That's a big issue. Now, a lot of people often say to me, it's okay, it's just a little trunk, we can bypass the trunk. Yeah, it ain't the trunk. The trunk is the least of your worries, guys. It is what is below that council is concerned about, the roots. Essentially, council takes the position of saying that the root ball can basically, let me start again. It can, anything more than 10 centimetres or cut and fill has the potential to impact on the roots of the trees. When you impact on more than 10% of the root zone or the root ball, it has the potential to kill the trees in the long term. Let me just say that again because it's a bit of a complex sort of term. Basically, the minute you do over 10 centimetres or cut and fill, which the minute you go to put a driveway in, you're going to do more than 10 centimetres of cut and fill, it's going to impact on the roots below that. If you impact on more than 10% of that root ball, you will kill the tree. May not happen instantly, but over time it will slowly die. It'll eventually get to the point where it either falls down in a storm or council's called in because it's a safety hazard. So council needs to assess any applications now on the assumption that that tree won't survive. So the next question people obviously come to me with is, how on earth do I work out how big the root ball is? Well, we have 3 options for you here. Going in order of simplistic option, is that the best way to describe it? Yeah, the simplest option, that's probably a better way, to the most complex option. We start up here with the general theory of, if you're standing under the tree and you look up and you see leaves or branches above you, then there's roots below you. So wherever the canopy or the drip line extends to is where the root ball extends to. So let's just call that one canopy. Like I said, very, very crude, simplistic way of measuring things. It tends to be over conservative, but hey, you can work that out yourself. Nice and easy. Now this one, don't get scared, it's not as crazy as it sounds. Let's go 12 times DBH equals R. I was never good at maths, and if I can work this out, you guys can work this out too. So what does it mean? 12 times diameter at breast height equals radius. So what you do is you walk up to the tree, measure it at chest height, work out what the diameter is or the width of the tree, multiply that by 12, and that gives you the radius of the root ball. So that basically gives you a dimension to measure out to work out how big the root ball is. Generally speaking, and it will vary from site to site, but more often than not, this gets you a smaller root ball than this. But obviously this is easier to work out because you can stand on site and look straight up and instantly determine it. This takes a little bit of maths, only a little bit. The final option, A, R, B, or another option is ECO. What do I mean by that? Arboriculturalist, yes, the word actually exists, and ecologist, basically special tree people. You can engage one of those two guys to come out and actually work out what the actual, I've said actual a lot, haven't I? What the real root size is. So they'll look at the tree species, the size of the tree, all of that sort of stuff, and they'll say, in reality, this is exactly how big the root zone is. They can also provide feedback on the incursion. What am I trying to say here? The incursion opportunities is probably the best way I can come up with. So we talked about up here, council as a general rule will accept up to 10% incursion, anything more than 10% of the root ball, and they start to think it's going to compromise the tree in the long term. The arboriculturalist or the ecologist might sit there and say, well no, this is actually a really hardy tree. This species can handle up to like 15% incursion or 20% incursion. Obviously that gives you a bit more flexibility. You've got to pay these guys though, and they can cost a lot of money. You could look at a couple of grand to get one of them out and to write a report for you at the end of the day. So, like I said, we're starting with crude, simplistic, over conservative, a little bit of work here, a little bit of money here. But that is usually going to give you a better result in terms of being able to get the driveways closer to the tree. So, just to recap, unfortunately street trees, trees within the front road reserve, are council property. They're not yours and they're protected. As we go further and further through time, council is proving that they're becoming more and more fixated, it's not the right word, conservative, protective, there we go, let's get that one, protective over these trees. And it actually impacts on your development plans, whether it be a renovation, a new house, subdivision units. Anytime you want to put a new driveway in to access a new garage or a new carport, if it's going to conflict not only with the trunk, but the root ball, then council has the ability to say no. So you need to make sure whenever you turn up to a site, if you see a street tree in front of it, you need to design around that street tree. Again, I reinforce the root ball of the street tree, which you can calculate in 3 different ways. Start with the crudest option because it's the easiest, and then work your way down. Hopefully that's given you a bit of information today and been an interesting sort of topic to learn about. If you've liked what you've seen, like, comment and share below. If I see lots of likes, comments and shares, I'll keep making these videos. It's that simple. Until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.